Hello, everybody. Once again, welcome back to another Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Paul Vold, as Coach's Corner is brought to you by Central Hydraulics. And, of course, we get a recap of the week that was for your Granite City Lumberjacks. Assistant Coach Eric Moser joins us here this week. And, Coach, another long week it was for the squad, playing 3 games in that span and throw in the Thanksgiving holiday in the mix. Let's start off with the annual Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, that contest against the Minnesota Moose. Another tough battle it was against the Moose, ultimately falling by the score 2-1 in overtime. Looking back at that contest as a whole, what did the team really take away from that contest?
Yeah, I mean, it's a team in our division that is obviously in last place, and 3 of their wins happen to be against our team. It's a team that's had our number over the last month and a half, and it's a Todd Sandin team. They come ready to play and ready to battle. They've obviously added guys to their squad since, the first couple weeks of the season when we played them. But, that's just what it is. It's the West Division. You got to show up every night, and we just have to be ready to go and next time we see them.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you carry that contest, so you take that with you, obviously with the holiday on Thursday. Then you gear up for a road trip down south to Mason City. Start off the road trip with 6-3 victory on Friday. Nice to see a little bit of a bounce back, a little bit of a back and forth against the Mason City Toros. Looking at that contest, what were some big takeaways from that game on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, I thought our guys were ready. The energy was high going into that game. We started behind the 8-ball, kind of a puck luck situation. One bounces off the stanchions, and PD comes out to play the puck, and by the time he can locate the puck, it's already in his feet, and it just chips into the back of the net. And then they got a second one shortly thereafter. But the guys responded. We just stuck with it. Everyone kept playing. I thought it was pretty complete 60 minutes, and it was good to put up, more than 2-3 goals in that game. But overall on Friday, I thought it was a pretty good effort, with that being right after Thanksgiving and a long bus trip. So the guys responded pretty well to that Wednesday game, and it was a good 2 points on Friday.
Yeah, you take that 2 points, you'd think carry that momentum from the game on Friday into Saturday. Another back and forth affair against the Toros too. Ultimately, sadly, a 5-3 loss to finish off the week. That contest really was kind of a back and forth affair from the very beginning as well. But you look at that game too, there were some opportunities in that third period to make a difference for the team. Just came up on the short end in that one.
Yeah, I thought our first 20 minutes was, I thought we played really well. They got lucky with a bounce, and our D and one of their forwards battling in front of the net. Hanny goes down, scrambling to get to that post. Their guy gets loose and is able to bang one home. Ultimately a 1-1 after the first 20, but I felt like our group played a really good, solid 20. Our reloads on the puck, from offense to defense were really good, and our transition was good. And then I think the last 40 minutes we kind of took a step back, which ultimately hurt us. It was a couple little costly mistakes in the D zone and on picking up guys where they were able to bang home a couple late. And that was ultimately the difference. And again, it's the West Division. You play teams that are top talent in the entire league every single weekend, and those little mistakes are the ones that cost you. So as long as we can minimize those from here on out, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, well, of course, you take another trip back up north to take on, of course, the Minnesota Wilderness in Eveleth. Similar situation, if you will, a few weeks ago. After a couple of tough losses, you hit the road to take on the Wilderness in Eveleth and get a couple of wins in that contest. But looking at the week that was for the Lumberjacks, what's really a kind of a big focus this week of getting ready here for this road trip to Eveleth?
Well, the nice thing is it's after the last 2 weeks, we finally get a full week of practice, which will be really nice for our group, just to kind of hit the reset button and get back to our regularly scheduled program Monday through Thursday. But going into this week, it's just rewiring our preparation for the Wilderness and what's to come this weekend. And obviously our last trip up to Eveleth was successful, so kind of trying to do the same stuff that we did that previous weekend we went up there, and just repeat it this coming weekend. But I'm excited to have a full week of practice and really just hammer away the things that we've been struggling with and try and fix those issues, and hopefully have a better weekend and get 4 points instead of 2.
Assistant Coach Eric Moser joins us here this week on Coach's Corner, powered to you by Central Hydraulics. I'm your host, Paul Vold. Coming up here after a break, we'll have more with our show and one of our player interviews. Stick around here with Coach's Corner. Welcome back here, folks, to Coach's Corner, powered to you by Central Hydraulics. Once again, we get two for the price of one here. A couple stalwarts up on the blue line. We've got number 8, Coltin Wassengeso, and number 28, Luke Anderson, joins us here this week on the show. Fellas, thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Of course, after a bit of a tough week that was here for the Granite City Lumberjacks, but of course, we want to give a chance here to introduce, of course, the new faces for the Lumberjacks. Lando, we'll start with you here. Just introduce yourself. How long you been playing hockey?
I'm Luke Anderson from Duluth, Minnesota, and I've been playing hockey since I was 3.
Colton, how about you?
My name's Coltin Wassengeso. I'm from Chanhassen, Minnesota, and I've been playing hockey since I was 3 also.
Of course, with our new players, we always like to give a chance for them, the reasoning why they decided to come to this program. Lando, why'd you choose Granite City?
I would mostly just say the culture. I mean, Granite City wins, and they have a history of producing players to the next level, so the culture of just kind of winning and player development was definitely the main reason I chose here.
Colton, how about you? Why Granite City?
Heard nothing but great things. I know they're a great organization, and I knew the McPartlands back in the day, and they really got me into choosing Granite City.
It was always great to have that lineage to come with, of course, with guiding these players for Granite City. We'll talk about last week with those games, a 3-game week yet again. Colton, with you starting off that game, the game before Thanksgiving, a 2-1 overtime loss against the Moose. Just kind of looking back at that contest, what are some things you kind of look back at from your view of the game that just ultimately didn't come to the favor for the Lumberjacks?
I think we just looked a little slow, not really wanted to win. I also think that our D zone needs to be better. Just clean up the D zone, and yeah.
Now we fast forward, of course, you get the holiday off, but ultimately getting to a road trip heading south to Mason City. Lando, of course, to start off the weekend, the team does with a victory, that being a 6-3 win. Looking back at that contest, how did the team really feel to ultimately, get their legs underneath them and get going in Mason City?
It was the day after Thanksgiving, and we took a bad bounce on the first goal and then kind of spotted on the second one, so we found ourselves down 2-0 early. But I say, just our resilience as a team, we battled back, and I felt we were the better team and played a good game and got a win there.
It was great to see, of course, bouncing back from that game last Wednesday. But Colton, finishing off the weekend, it was with Mason City down there. Just wasn't quite enough to get a win. Looking back at that contest, too, what ultimately, or maybe a couple things that you noticed that just wasn't to the favor for the Lumberjacks on Saturday?
I mean, just a couple of bad bounces. They got some greasy ones that we need to work on in practice, like moving kids out of the way in front of the net and stuff like that, and the refs weren't really on our side.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can carry some momentum, at least a little bit of positivity. This time a few weeks ago, similar situation. Then you guys head up north to Eveleth, get a couple of nice wins up in the Hippodrome. But now with it being the same situation yet again, heading up north with a couple of games against the Wilderness this weekend, what are we looking at here with practice, Colton, to at least, maybe a couple things to kind of clean up for this week?
I think our system work needs to be better. We've been really working this week on our neutral zone to just keep it nice and flowing, and yeah.
All right, and Landon, how about you? Anything that you see as kind of some focuses this week for the team?
I think just bringing physicality. The Wilderness, they're a physical team, and it's always tough going up north. And I think just being better in our D zone, keeping the gaps tighter in our neutral zone, and not allowing as much off the rush for the other team. And just kind of the systematic things. And I think if we do that, we'll walk away with 2 wins. So
we look forward to that much more with our Granite City Lumberjacks this weekend. They take on the Minnesota Wilderness up at the Hippodrome in Eveleth this weekend. Check out na3hl.com for times. And also check them out on NATV, as we got Luke Anderson and Coltin Wassengeso this week. As for Coach's Corner, now we get to the fun part, or at least I think it's the fun part. Rapid fire. You fellas ready?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to start off here. What's kind of the pregame routine for you guys? You know, kind of really getting that mindset come game day. Lando, what gets you going in the day?
I go to Chipotle every first game day. If it's at home, I'll go to Chipotle at 12:30 and then get to the rink at 5:30 and tape my stick right away. And then nothing else too superstitious, just Chipotle.
I like it.
Yeah.
Coltin, how about you? What's the pregame routine for you?
Get 8 hours and 30 minutes of sleep, and then go for a walk with Eli Tiernan and Braden Willis, and then take a nap, then get Chipotle.
All right, and you guys mentioned Chipotle. What's the go-to order for that pregame meal?
Bowl with a tortilla on the side, white rice, chicken, queso, and cheese with chips.
Lando, how about you? What's the Chipotle order for you?
I go bowl with tortilla on the side, and then I go double white rice, both beans, chicken, corn, sour cream, lettuce, cheese, and then vinaigrette. That tops it off. That's a special one.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. All right, we talked about the pregame routine and the meal, but now we talk a little bit more. What's the, do you prefer the red or the white jersey with Granite City?
I like the Reds. I think red's just a good color, playing at Duluth East and all, and I like the Reds.
All right, Coltin, how about you, red or white?
The white Jays.
I like it. And a favorite away rink that you guys have played at here with Granite City so far?
Probably the Hippo.
I like it. Lando, how about you?
I'd say Alex, just the crazy environment.
I like it. Of course, now we're at here this holiday season. We got to talk a few things relating towards Christmas. We got Secret Santa quite possibly going on. Who is one person on the team that you would not want to get a gift for Secret Santa, and someone that you would not want to receive a gift from?
I wouldn't want to get a gift for Braden Willis. I get him too many gifts already. And then one guy I wouldn't want to get a gift for me, I'd say Justin Lesser.
All right. I like it. Coltin, how about you?
I probably wouldn't want to get a gift from Colton Johnson. Something, I think he would get me something like dragons or something like that. And then I wouldn't want to give a gift to Granny.
I like it. All right. Who's the biggest Grinch on the team? Somebody that just does not like Christmas.
I'd just say TJ Lepisto. He can just kind of be grumpy sometimes and in the morning. So
I like
that's
it.
where I gotta go with.
Coltin, who's the biggest Grinch on the
I'd
squad?
also say Pisser too.
Yeah.
All right, all right, all right. Favorite stocking stuffer, maybe a staple that you get from your time growing up, maybe? What's one thing you can always count on to get in your stocking for Christmas?
Some candy canes, I guess. A lot of candy. And maybe some like hockey cards or something like that.
All right. Lando, how about you?
I'd just say candy. That's it.
All right. Now, with the holiday season, are you a white lights kind of guy or colored lights on the Christmas tree?
I like color lights. Yeah.
Coltin, how about you?
Colored, for sure.
All right. And one other question we've got here. What do you want for Christmas this year? What's the gift that you're really hoping to get?
Girlfriend.
Lando, how about you?
I would say just some clothes. Just pretty generic, but just some clothes.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
A couple of random questions here that just thought off the top of my head. Lando, how many softball at bats would it take for you to put one over the fence this year?
I would say the over/under is at 9.5.
9.5.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. Coltin, what is the most creative way that you've heard somebody pronounce Wassengeso?
Probably Wassengeso.
I like it. All right. And finally, last question here for rapid fire. Personal goals here for this season. What do you guys want to get out of your time here with Granite City?
Win a Frazier.
I like it. Lando?
Win a Frazier.
Short, sweet, to the point. Luke Anderson, Coltin Wassengeso join us here for Coach's Corner this week. Of course, your Lumberjacks back in action coming up this weekend. They take the trip up north to the Hippodrome, taking on the Minnesota Wilderness. Check out game time details at n83hl.com. Also following your Lumberjacks on social media. This is Coach's Corner, brought to you by Central Hydraulics. So check in with you guys next week.